Hi, good morning, everyone. So, confirm me, please. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, Honorable.
Yeah. Now, see what we was learning. We was learning about the GCP here. GCP means Google Cloud Platform. So, as I said, I'll give you summary how this Google Cloud is. I have prepared this PPT here. We are going to understand now. Let's understand from the beginning now. So, whatever we did as of now, let's understand that from the beginning. If you're looking for GCP certification in the future, these are certification type which you can have. If you're looking for certification, these are the things you can apply. You can become a cloud architect, cloud developer, data engineer, machine learning engineer, or you can be a cloud security engineer, network engineer. These are the things you can apply. But if you're looking for foundational course, you can go with the associate. Just showing you people actually. You need to know with different certification type what we have in a GCP. And second one, what we need to understand, okay, I want to do a certification course in GCP, but how? How you can interact with the GCP? By 4 ways. You can interact through the cloud console. What I meant by interacting through the cloud console, something like this. You'll click on Google, you'll click on Chrome here. You'll click on Chrome here, you'll go to here, right? You'll go to here, you'll do a GCP console here. You'll get into the console. Whatever the task you want to perform, you will perform by using graphical user interface. You'll create the resources from here. You'll create the resources from here. One of the method. What is the second method? Second method is by using Cloud Shell. What we can do, if I want to create the resources, I can create the resources by using the Cloud Shell also. 5 GB is by default given, means 5 GB of storage is by default given here. And third and foremost way is by using mobile. What you can do here, you can use the mobile here, mobile app. What you can do here, you can use the mobile app. From the mobile app, you can access this Google Cloud. Fourth one is REST API. You can perform the API operations. From the mobile, how you can access? Now see, you can go to the Google Play Store, or either you can go to the App Store. From there, you can download this. And after downloading this, but each and everything you cannot maintain from the mobile. So whatever we are performing here, each and everything can't be maintained. So if you want to manage the virtual machine and database instances, you can do that. If you want to manage the app in App Engine, you can do that. If you want to manage the billing in your mobile phone, very much required whenever you are going to work, because you need to check how much this resource is costing you. If you want to visualize your project and customizable dashboard here, in that case, you can use a mobile app. Then other than this here, as we just discussed during AWS type. So how many type of cloud deployment model we have? We are thinking about cloud. We want to deploy the model. We are looking for some sort of model. So what will be there? Public cloud, multi-cloud, private cloud, or hybrid cloud, or hybrid environment. You need to understand what is called public cloud. Public cloud means, of course, publicly accessible. One public cloud like Google, Azure, GCP. These are public cloud. When I say this is a multi-cloud means two or more public cloud. Please understand, two or more public cloud. Azure plus GCP is a multi-cloud. Azure plus GCP plus AWS is a multi-cloud. When I say this is a private cloud, this can be complicated little bit. When I say this is a private cloud, anyone there, help me please. When I'll say this is a private cloud,
When it is not a when it is on premises, like
yeah,
all the
it is on
hardware,
premises.
yeah,
That is one of the thing, Neeraj. And second one is
it is not exposed to the external user.
it is not exposed to the external user actually. And what is the necessity of building this on-premises cloud then? Something like this, Neeraj, you have prepared food for yourself, right? You're not invited me, right? But you are preparing more food, right? You're preparing more food. You are not inviting your relatives or other people. So what do you do with that food? So something like this, you have created the infrastructure here on premises, but you are not giving to the external user, right? That is privately available. So what is the use case of that?
It is
Anyone
just
there?
for Just for our use, something like government websites, something
It
like
is
that.
just for right, Neeraj. It is just for the use of customized requirement. Actually, by customized requirement, they will build this private cloud. Like this, suppose Kiran want to set up some organization. So what Kiran is saying, I want to set up on cloud platform, and please set up on cloud platform, and please hand over that to me. He approached to the GCP. GCP will provide him on premises cloud platform, and that will be accessible to the people who Kiran wants. Right? That is called on premises cloud. Hybrid means hybrid cloud will be private plus public. Don't think like hybrid cloud will be public plus public. It will be a hybrid means public plus private. Use case. Can anyone demonstrate me what is the use case here? How public cloud can be a private cloud? Something like this. Just now I gave example of Kiran. What I gave example of Kiran want to set up one organization, private organization, but some of the feature he want to expose to the end user. So some of the services related to end user. So public plus private cloud. Hybrid environment. I have seen people understanding this thing as a multi-cloud or hybrid cloud. This is not a multi-cloud or hybrid cloud. What I meant by, if you say on-premises data center plus public cloud, that is not a in actual it's what it should be. It should be hybrid cloud, right? But this is not a hybrid cloud. This is called hybrid environment. You're creating a hybrid environment because on-premises data center, right? In on-premises data center, what will be there? Many users will be there. That is will be not according to the organization. This data center is serving to the end user. Many end user data center is serving. So it cannot be a private cloud. If this is a private cloud, then it will become hybrid cloud. Actually, on-premises data center is a type of public cloud. So if I say public cloud, public cloud, that is a hybrid environment. We are creating hybrid environment. Please go through this one, very, very important. Then coming to here, if you want to understand the cloud model here, you can read out these things here. When it's called public cloud, when it's called private cloud, when it's called hybrid cloud here, actually, you'll get a very good understanding. When it's called public cloud, when it's called hybrid cloud, when it's called private cloud. Now see, private cloud are built, run and used by single organization. Organization belongs to Kiran. Only Kiran is running this. Typically located on premises. They provide greater control, customization, data security, but come with a similar cost and resources limitation associated with additional IT environment. Short and simple manner you can read out. Now, this was on the method of deployment, and what was on the method of services. Cloud services is divided into IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, or you can call it a function as a services, right? Function as a services, you can call it. I have gone through these things quite a lot, so I'm not going. You can read out if you want to read out. So like this example, I have written the example here. You can just go buying pre-packed ingredient like fresh pasta. If you're looking for fresh pasta and sauce made by someone else, then you took this at home. So that is called infrastructure as a service. I can read out these things will be help. Something like this, you'll have idea from here as well. This is what on the method of deployment, three-way, public, private, and hybrid, or public, private, and hybrid. Method of services here, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, you can consider as function as a services as well. Now, very, very important thing here. What do you meaning region and zones? You are aware about the region and zones. What is the region? What is the zones? And the network edge location. This is very, very important. New concept for you people today. Network edge location, and these are territory. Now, how many we have in GCP? 40 regions, 121 zones. Edge location. He's giving us edge location. POP, point of presence. This is called POP, point of presence or edge location. This is GCP is coming where? Coming in Mexico, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Greece, Norway, Austria, Sweden. These many countries, this is coming in the future. But we need to understand what. Now see, you can read out these things from here. Current region with the 3 zone. If you want to understand what are the current region with 3 zones, you will go with the dot. You'll go with the dot here. Delhi and Mumbai, we have a 3 zones. We have a 3 zones under Mumbai and Delhi. If you're going with future region with 3 zones, so you'll go with the triangle here now. See, so these are this is how you can find. POP will be very, very important. Point of presence will be Very important. If I'm talking about point of presence here, what Sudhakar is doing, Sudhakar is staying near to Hyderabad. He's staying near to Hyderabad here. He's staying near to Hyderabad here. What he will do? He want to create a virtual machine. If you want to create a virtual machine, request will go to the Google, of course. What Google will find out? Google will find out the point of presence, POP, point of presence nearer to your place. There is a 2 point of presence near to your place. What that is? First point of presence is Mumbai region and second one is Delhi. Means data center where our actual data center is. So means his request will go either to go to the Bombay, either go to the Delhi. That is called POP. Edge location, edge network set it up according to regions and zones. So this is called POP. This diagram will be very helpful. So whenever I'm talking about cloud, whenever I'm talking about a cloud, organization will be your company. Kiran set it up one company. That will be your company. And inside the company, what will be there? Inside the company, department will be there, right? Department X, department Y, shared infrastructure department will be there. Inside the department, there will be a team A, team B. There will be a lot of competition between this team A, team B. Team A will be handling different product. Team B will be handling different product. Team now product A will have a different project 2 will have a different project here. Some will belong to a development, some will belong to a test one, some will belong to a production department. And for each and every product, what we required resources to be created. Where we will create the resources? We will create the resources within our GCP environment. So means like this, you need to understand the infrastructure here in our cloud environment, how this thing is: company, department, team, product, project, resources. This is how we are going to customize our resources. The time we are going to talk about IAM, identity and access management, we are going to provide the access management according to this diagram. So this diagram, according to this diagram, we should have idea. This is very important here. How you are going to handle the billing here? How you are going to handle the billing here? Group cost here. Now see, if you see this dot, this one here, this will be the group cost. Owns and pay for. Owns and pay for means owns by parent billing account here and will pay for the billing account here. Then linked to which account? This simple way here in billing is you are going to create one payment file. You are going to create one payment profile here. In this payment profile, one billing account will be there, parent billing account. From that billing account, you are going to pay each and everything. But billing sub account will be there according to that, according to our project. Inside the project, what will be there? Resources, right? Inside the project, resources will be there. According to those resources, they are going to charge us money. They will charge us money, and we will create what? We will create the resources. This is other way what you can do here. Payment profile, billing account here, organization, folder, project, other resources like this. For these resources, whatever the resources you are creating, we have to pay according to that. Type of storages, we discussed about the type of storages here. How many type of storages we have? Block, file, and object type. Block type means, can anyone elaborate me all three? Block type. Where we are using block type? Nearest try. Or any other person can try. There's no restriction here. What do you mean by block, file, and object type?
Block type means the data will be stored in a form of block,
Good one.
and yeah, it will be used in in the form of servers, something like that, to run the application.
Whenever we are creating virtual machine, there we will use good one. And other thing, somebody want to add some sentences here? Mountable, bootable, right? Whatever the disk we have, that is mountable as well, that is bootable as well. Can be mounted, can be bootable, can done bootable as well. But we are going to use this for the high compute services. Wherever we are looking for higher performance, so there we are going to use the block storage, right? File storage during network file system, what will be there? File type of data will be generated in the form of trees. So data will be stored here. Object type of storage, very important. Many people will ask you a question. Actually, people are using quite frequently this object type of storage. Why? Because unstructured data type, you no need to manage the data. First of all, you no need to convert this unstructured data into the structured. That will be unstructured data type. And second thing is, it's a very low price storage here. We can store unlimited data for, but unfrequent data type. Please understand, unfrequent data type we can store. But where we will store? In the form, we'll store in the bucket, right? We'll store in the bucket here. Now block disk are, now this there is a two thing which we need to understand from here. Now this object type of storage means within the bucket will be stored. This terminology people need to remember. Please remember this terminology here. I have uploaded this in your drive. You can take from there. IO, input output depth queue, input output per second, throughput and latency. This terminology. Performance of your storage will be affected by using those. So means if these are good, your performance is good. Another thing here you need to understand here, persistence disk. Whenever we are going to the persistence disk, two type of persistence disk, local SSD. Persistence disk is subdivided into three category. You can create this in a zonal, you can create this in a regional. It will be standard, balanced and SSD. If you're looking for standard, standard means we are putting HDD, right? Hard disk. What these are standard for the general purpose. If you're looking for general purpose for daily day and out use, so you can use the standard one. You can host this in a zonal level, you can host this in a regional level as well. Balanced one will be a middle one actually. If you're looking for SSD, that will be very, very high performance, but pricing will be very, very high in case of SSD. I don't want to spend more time. I don't want to spend more money. In that case, what I'll do, I'll use a balanced one. And second use case of this will be, I don't want very low performance. I want mid-level performance. In that case, I'll use the balanced one. SSD means high performance, but there will be very, very high pricing actually. That we need to consider. Like this. This you need to understand. Local means locally. SSDs, right? If you're going to the vendors, what they are saying, okay, do you want SSD? Yeah, I'll put. How much? 256, 512, 1 GB, 1 terabyte. So like this can, right? So these are locally available here, local SSD. But we are talking about data centers. We are not talking about local laptops. We are talking about data centers level. So this is what you need to understand from here. These are different disk types here. You can read out from here. I have given these things here. You can compare the things. Then very, 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 very important aspects here. Then what is a very, very important aspects here? We got into now here. All product section here. So now here, what do you mean by APIs? Anyone there? API and services? I think some of you are coming from some sort of experience. What do you mean by API and services? Any idea? Anyone have idea? What do you mean by API and services? This is the review, guys. I covered all, and now see, whenever I'm talking about APIs and services, whenever I'm talking about the resources within our cloud environment, of course, these resources are created by, now what these resources are created by what? Some sort of function, some sort of programming, some sort of application interface will be created for those, or interface will be created for those. Some logic is written behind to execute those resources here. So what is that? That is API, application programming interface. Whatever the logic written behind any function, anything, that is called API. So what is the takeaway from here? Whatever the resources we are going to create, first and foremost thing will be to enable the API. If I'm going to the data form API here, data form API here. Now see, disable. I have enabled this data form API. Let me disable this. What I'm doing, I'm disabling my data form API like this. So whenever you want to create some resources under these services here, what will be there? You have to enable the APIs. APIs means you have to enable the logic written behind this. If I'll enable here means, so means whatever the, so service to develop version control, operationalize here SQL pipeline in a big query, we can handle, we can perform this thing here. Otherwise, we won't be able to if we are not enabling the API here. Very, very important things. Billing wise, I have spent a lot of time here. Whenever whenever you are going to perform any compute task, you have to enable the API. Whenever you are going to perform the storage, you have to enable the API. Otherwise, it will not interact with your end environment. Billing, I have spent a lot of time here. In the billing section, you people knows. IAM, identity and access management, you need to create the principal for that principal or for that user. According to his profile, as I said, according to his profile, you are going to provide him a policies plus rules. That is what you need to understand. Then coming to a compute engine, I'm going to the compute engine here. Compute engine means we are going to create the virtual machine or server by three ways. By three ways. First one is by instances type. Second one is by machine image. Third one is by template. Here we can create the machine image. From that we can create the instance. But one condition, if you are creating machine image here, pre-existing machine has to be there. Otherwise we will not be able to create the machine instances. Another one here, VM instances here. If I'm going to the VM instances here, we should, of course, we are going to create from the scratch. Another one is template here. We are going to create the template of these things. So like this, we need to understand in case of instances type. And what are the parameter? What are the factor which you need to consider while you creating the instances? This is general for all the cloud guys. This is not only for the GCP. What you need to host this in a region. Hosting this in a region will be very, very important. Please try to host near to your place. Why we need to host our instances near to our place? Because it will affect our performance. If we are hosting our instances far from our place, it will affect the performance of that virtual machine. Latency is one of the factor. Latency will be more. Latency means amount of time to create the resources will be more. Then we need to optimize our machine configuration. What type of machine we are looking for? Scenario type. According to our requirement, we will do compute optimize, memory optimize, storage optimize, or a GPU. We are looking for general purpose. We will get into this category. These are the subcategory in general purpose. We are looking for storage optimize. You can go through the costing. Now see, you can keep your eye here. Costing wise, it will be very expensive, but we are getting into now. See, this much it's going to cost us if I'm going to the M2 category. So according to our requirement, we are going to take a general purpose, compute optimize, memory optimize, storage optimize, and GPU here. We are going to get into those. Then afterward, what sorts of configuration? If you want to change the custom configuration, you can change the custom configuration from here also. You want to increase the CPU here, you can increase the CPU, you can increase the memory from here. You can do these things from here. Then afterward, by default, now container services. After our next topic is Docker. So during Docker, we will understand how to deploy a container in this environment. By default, boot disk will be assigned to this. By default, there is a boot disk here, which you can see from here. By default, there is a boot disk here, which is attached with our this. And what is the maximum size of disk we can attach to our instances here? Anyone there remembered or not? What is the maximum size of disk we can attach here? Sudhakar, what was that? What is he saying?
64.
Yeah, 64 TB, right? We can attach up to maximum up to 64 terabyte here, right? SSD. So now another thing here, if I'm going to the advanced session, if I'm going to the advanced option, very, very important things here. So here you can customize many things. You can customize the firewall rule. You can customize the, now familiarity with the dashboard will be very important here. You can get to the networking. If you want to customize your what? You want to customize your own VPC here. If you want to customize your own VPC here, you can customize your own VPC here. I'll ask one question here. Now see what I'm doing. I'm adding a VPC called class VPC here. What is the problem here? He's saying you must have a subnetwork here. You must have a subnet under this VPC here. But I have two subnet here, public and private subnet. But why is not taking this public and private subnet? Anyone there? Why is not taking public and private subnet here? Anyone there? Because this is very, very important thing here. Whenever you are creating a VPC here, you need to create a VPC in one of the region. So I created the VPC in Taiwan region. So what it's giving me? It's giving me US Central 1A. So I'm creating virtual machine in different region. I have created VPC and subnet in a different region. So what I need to do? I need to change a region for my So what I need to do, I need to change a region for my VM virtual machine. So whichever region you are creating the resources, of course, in that region, it will be accessible here. Now it's showing me this 459 here, showing me 459 here now. What will be there? Now it will show me this. Now see, where is this? It's showing me private subnet now. If I change, it will show me public subnet as well now. See, it will show me public and private subnet as well. So like this, we can understand from here. How many type of IP we have? Help me guys, I don't know.
IPv4 and IPv6.
IPv4 and IPv6, and according to their availability, ephemeral and static. Right? What is the use case of static IP?
Static IP will not change the IP address. It will be
It will
static.
not change the IP address when? If you're
When
stopping
we
and
stop the
restarting the
when we
instance,
stop the instance or
it will
reboot
not
them.
change. It will not change, but it comes with extra costing. Please remember this, okay? And ephemeral will be automatic, means automatically it will change. It will affect the end user actually. That is the thing we need to understand. Good one. So like this, right? This is what we need to understand. And other than this, if I'm going to the disk type here, now see, let me go to the VPC again one more time. VPC thing will be very important. Under the VPC network thing, what will be the case? If I'm going to the VPC thing here, so what will be the case here? We are creating a VPC network here. Within the VPC network, what we are creating here now, IP addresses, as I said. Here, you can create a static IP address for the internal IP, and you can create a static IP address for the external IP as well. IP addresses, IPv6 addresses, if you have any sorts of IP within your system, so that will be displayed here under this. So if you want to see this IP thing here, you can see this IP thing here. If you want to bring your own IP, you can bring your own IP. Firewall rule. Firewall rule means you are allowing traffic only unidirectional. See, this will be unidirectional. It will not be bidirectional. Firewall rule will not be bidirectional. Bidirectional means something like this. If you want to request for incoming and outgoing, it will not happen. So what will be the case here? It will be either for the ingress or either it will be for the egress. Either it will be for the ingress, either it will be for the egress here that you can do. And what are the parameter we need to now? If I'm going to the firewall rule, what are the factor we need to see here? Logs, network, which network you are setting up the firewall rule here. By default, it's showing you here which network you want to set up the firewall rule. On that VPC only, your firewall rule will be applied. First takeaway. Second one is direction of traffic will be, as I said, it will be only for one, either for ingress, either for egress. It will not be for both. If you want to set up for both, it's not possible. Firewall rule for both is not possible. Action to match, either you can allow, either you can deny. What you want, either you can allow, either you can deny. Then you can define the target server. What you can define the target. If you want to give a target subnet, you can give a target subnet and predefined IP range. Suppose you have a 5 in under this VPC. What you have a 5 server. You want to allow, what you want to allow? You want to allow ingress for this particular server. What will give particular range will be there, IP range will be there. You can allow that range. How will decide which range you have given? How will find out which range you have given? Cider, right? Classless interdomain routing, right? In that, whatever the routing, whatever the range you have given, you can define that same range here as well, right? Good one. Then afterward, protocol here. Fourth thing you need to remember here in case of firewall rule. Source IP, okay? Source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, and protocol. These 5 parameter, this you need to decide here. Allow all if you want to allow all. If you want to define this, these are the protocol, as I said. Source IP, destination port, destination IP, source port. So like this. So these are the things which you need to remember here. If you create here, you will be able to create like this: TCP, UDP, SCTP. So like this, you can define here. These are the parameter you need to understand. There is one more thing here, very, very, very important. This priority wise, whenever you are going to work on a Jira, you will understand this, what this priority is. Higher the number, lower the priority. If you're putting higher number here on a priority wise, so what will be there? So if you're putting higher number, so lower will be your priority. If you're putting lower number, higher the priority. So this is the takeaway we need to understand from here. Then coming to all product here, I'm going to the now, you understood this. Then if I'm going to the then if I'm going to the BPC network here, what I'm doing here, I'm getting into the BPC network here. Like this, what is my BPC name? My BPC name is a class BPC here. Now like this, if you want to see how many subnet we have created, this is only for this BPC. This BPC, which BPC name? Class network detail. This is the BPC network detail here, overview, public and private subnet, static. If you have created any, you can create. If you have created any static internal IP addresses, you can create. Firewall rule, what is the firewall rule for this BPC? You can see here. Firewall endpoint, routes, BPC pairing, each and everything, whatever the task you have performed for this BPC, that will be shown here. Like this, it will be shown here. So like this pairing connection, shared network, shared BPC, if you have created any. So like this, these are the things which you need to understand from here. And after this, there is one more thing here which we need to learn here. If I'll go to the now, this is now what I'm doing here. I'm going to the I'm going to the now compute engine. What I'm doing, I'm going to the compute engine here. This is very, very important here. Now, if I'm going to the compute engine here, right? If I'm going to the compute engine here, under compute engine, what will be there here? Under storage section, if I'm going to the disk type here, if I'm going to the disk type here, what I can do here, for this disk, what I can do here, if I'm creating a disk, I don't have a disk created here actually. So for this disk, what I can do here, see, I can create something like this here. I can create a disk here, just keeping randomly here. I'm creating a, because I want to show you people what is a snapshot, how that can be created, what is the how to create an image. So like this. So what is this is a disk here. This is a disk here. What I'm creating a disk of 10 gig here. These are very, very important things. The time you are going to appear for the interviews, you people will understand what I'm saying here. So very, very important here. And another thing is learning wise, you'll get an overview of the cloud actually. The time you'll get into these cloud things here, you'll understand very systematically. So now if I click on this one here, now see, this is very, very important. If I want to create the instance from this disk, I can create the instance from this disk. I no need to go there. I can create from here itself. If I want to create the snapshot, I can create a snapshot of this instance here. So like this, what is your disk snapshot source here? You can get into. Now there are a three type of this here. If I'm going to the snapshot thing, there is how many type of snapshot? Three type of snapshot. Like I can create a snapshot, I can create an instant snapshot, I can create an archive snapshot as well. So what is the use case of snapshot here? Standard backup for the disaster recovery, but stored in a separate location from your disk. Now suppose your disk are in a Mumbai region. Now your snapshot got created where? Snapshot got created in a Delhi region. So in this case, what will happen? So if your snapshot, if your disk is gone, so what you'll do, you'll do take a backup from Delhi region. Instant snapshot. This is the other snapshot type what you can do. Rapid restoration here, stored in the same location as a disk. Archive means long-term storage for infrequent access type of data, stored in a separate location from your disk. Like this, you can customize according to your requirement here. This is how you can customize your, what you can do, you can customize your disk type according to this. But one more thing here, let me show you people what are this, how this can be attached to our virtual machine. If I go to the BM instances here, I'm creating the BM instances here now. I'm creating the BM instances. As I'm creating the BM instances here now, see, I'm going to the storage type here, where I'm going to the disk type here. If I'll go to the disk type here, you'll see those things can be configured here. If I'm going to the disk type here, so now if I want to create and add a new disk here, so I can add a new disk here. Now what type of disk you can attach? Now see, this type of disk, whatever we discussed here, can be attached. and disk source here. Now see, first one is blank disk. There is nothing in that disk. You can attach that disk. And second one is from the image. I'll show you that image thing also. Existing image will be there for the disk. What you can do, you can attach that disk, you can attach that image. Third one is snapshot. Just now we discussed whatever the snapshot we have created, you can attach that. And another one is instant snapshot. Whatever the other type was, that you can attach. Archive snapshot. These are three different type you can create from a disk. Image will be pre-existing one. Image you can create from the blank disk. Whatever the blank disk or whatever the disk we have, if we have a data in some disk, from that disk we can create the image. Whenever you are creating image from particular disk, one important takeaway from that, this disk should not be run, this disk should not be attached to the running instances. If this disk is attached to the running instances, we will not be able to create the image. Let me repeat this thing. If we want to create the image from the disk, that disk should not be attached to the running instances. That, so let me show you people this practically. So now what I have a disk here, I guess. We created one disk here. So we created one disk here. Where is my storage here? So let me go to the compute engine here. If I'll go to the compute engine here, what I'll find here disk type here. What I'll find here a disk type here. Now, if I'm going to the disk type here, it will show me the disk thing here, whatever the disk we have created. If I want to create the disk here, as I said, if I want to create the disk, not from this one, if I want to create the image from existing disk here, just a second. If I want to create a disk from the existing, this is my existing disk here. If I want to create the image like this, so now what will be the case here? So whatever I'm saying here, you can see from there. Now see, disk source is equal to this one, image equal to this one here. So what is saying here, create an image, disk equal to disk one here, multi-regional, regional. In this case, we can create a disk here, right? In this case, we can create an image from this disk. Why? Because this disk is not attached with our VM, virtual machine. If this is attached with our virtual machine, we will not be able to create this disk here. It'll give me something here in a red color. This is attached with your running instances. Please stop that instance first, then you can create an image out of that one. Then one important things here, then another important things here. If I'll go to the images part here, if I'll go to the images part here, now you can see here, there are existing images here. Image is a replica of disk that contain the application and operating system needed to start the VM. Existing, what is this? Pre-existing, what is there? Pre-existing operating system and to start the VM. You can create a custom image for the public use, public image, or you can create the custom image or public image pre-configured with the Linux and Windows OS. This is pre-configured with the Linux and operating this Windows OS here. According to that, you can take an image, whatever the image you want. Debian OS is Debian here. Like this, how many there? 300 something. If you want to change the size of this range, you can change here. I want to keep for 100. You can keep the 100 range like this. So according to this, which place it hosted here, now see, this is Google here, right? So like this confidential CentOS here, if you want to see other things also. So what sorts of image you are going to take, you can take those image from here. If I'm going into this image thing here, it will give you end. Now see. So like this description here, this is the description here, which region it hosted. Pre-existing images are here. If you want to create the instances according to our requirement, what will be there? Now in certain cases, we need this pre-existing image. So I no need to. What is the use case? Can someone give me use case of using these images here? Why we are using images here?
Like a template, just use that to create it.
So Dakar, your voice is coming low.
It's kind of a template by using that template.
Standard template. If we have existing templates, right? If we know those templates, we can use those templates. And what is the use case actually?
Yes, so to declare the instance.
Your voice is coming low. I think you are answering properly, but your voice is coming low.
I think with this image we can create the instance.
Yeah, with this image, of course, we can create the instance.
Fast
But what is
deploy.
the use case? Means why we are using this,
Like
right? We
fast,
can create the instance by using 3 ways, right? I showed you way, right? From there also we can create the instance. But why we are using these images? What is the use case?
for example,
Right, right.
no, for example, if you deploy more than one layer with the same configuration by using this template, you can deploy.
Right. Whenever we need, Sudhakar, yeah.
I'm saying that if you have to deploy more than one mission, for example, if you want to deploy more than 100 instances, by using the same template, you can deploy with one shot.
You can deploy more than your voice is coming low. Actually, that is the reason. Yeah, he's saying if you want to apply more than one template, if you want to apply one template in more than one places, so in that case, what we'll do, we'll use the image. So now, see, we are creating a machine, right? What we are creating a machine with one empty disk here. All right. In that disk, what we need to do, we need to configure many things, right? We need to configure what application, operating system, XYZ, many things we need to configure. But what is the other way? If you are passing, as I said, as I shared yesterday, right? Use case. Suppose Kiran and Neeraj is working on the same thing. If Neeraj and Kiran is working on the same thing here, what will be the use case of using this thing here? So now Kiran configured something in his virtual machine. So Neeraj need to configure that same thing in his virtual machine. So what will be the case? So other than config, both of them they need to configure, right? So other than if they need configuration of same configuration, only one of them can do that configuration and create an image, and that image can be passed to the other users or whatever the answer Sudhakar gave, right? If you want to use the same template, this will be your technical answers. If you're using same template for more number of users or other user are using same template, so what we'll do in that case, we'll create the image from that existing VMs. This is the use case here, what we need to understand. Very, very important one here. Like this, we can do this thing here. This is what we need to understand from here. I'm going to the syllabus side now. So I'm going to the syllabus side now. What are the things we need to understand here in case of GCP? Container services remains